Hey guys, Johnny Lane here. I'm gonna have to talk pretty loud. It's rainy, it's noisy. Want to give a few things here about 12.4 before we move on to 12.5. The 12.4 results are due Sunday at 5 p.m. Again, just like I said in the last video, you must mark that as prescribed if you did it as prescribed. I would imagine the majority of people have done it as prescribed. I will reach out to you if it's non-prescribed and you've done every other workout prescribed. But I may miss that and your scoring may get messed up. So again, please make sure you post your scores. Go in there, enter it under your athlete profile. Those times are recorded. That is time stamped as well, so we know when you did it. And even if it doesn't show in the results, I can still pull those numbers, those records out of the individual athlete's file and be able to put that to the results. Contact me if you have any questions, but again, mark as prescribed on 12.4, completely crucial. Excuse me. On 12.4. On 12.5, we've got a 5-minute AMRAP of a 500-meter row and air squats. We'll get into all that in a second. 2-minute rest. Then we'll have a 10-minute AMRAP of 3 pull-ups, 6 ring push-ups. Masters women will do hand release push-ups, and 9 sit-ups. And we'll go over the standards of all that stuff. The first thing we'll get into is the row. So we'll move over here to the rower. We've got Andrew Starsick from CrossFit Intense. He is demonstrating a terribly slow row. But of course, set up the rower to count down from 500. And all of the affiliates have the concept too. What we're going to look for here is, for example, he rows, he's over 2 minutes now. Say we row a 2 minute 500 meter. 2 minutes, we're going to turn that into seconds. That's 120 seconds. He took 2 minutes here. He's got 3 minutes remaining of the 5-minute AMRAP to do air squats. He might get whatever his number is, but let's say he did 121 air squats. We would take the number of seconds and subtract it from the air squats. So in this case, he did a 120 second row, and he did 121 squats. On the first part of the AMRAP, the 5-minute part, he has a score of 1. Might end up with a negative number. Should end up with a positive number with just air squats, but it's very possible to end up with a negative number. The other thing on the row is that if he were to row 2 minutes and 1/10 of a second, any fraction of a second will be rounded up to the next second. So 2 minutes and 1/10 of a second will be 121 seconds. He would have to do 121 squats the remaining 3 minutes in order to just break even. And that pretty much covers the row, standard row. Damper setting doesn't matter. Whatever you want to use to be able to get to your 500 meters. All right, so he's finished with his 500-meter row. We've got his time from the erg. Now we can move on to the air squats. The air squat, standard air squat, we want him to get hips below the knee, get below parallel, and he's going to stand up. Open the hips at the top, completely open the hips at the top. No shallow squatting, no closed hips, and that would be a good rep. Now, a few things we're going to touch on is if he were to break at the waist and move his upper body more than his lower body. Gives himself the illusion that he's moving a lot more than he is, but of course he's not getting below parallel. That would be a no rep. If he squatted below parallel and did not open the hips at the top, he's got a closed hip there and goes right to the next rep, that would be a no rep. Also, for this competition here, be no hands on the body anywhere. So nothing on the hips, nothing on the legs. Put them on your waist. Nothing on the waist. Anything, any version of that, the hands cannot rest on you at all. No arms crossed. Arms have to be free. So nothing behind the back. No contact with the body, with the hands at all. All right, so, and I know this is a lot of stuff. So if you have any questions about this, contact me, but we're going to move on to the other part of it. That's not it. Then we've got a 2-minute rest, and we'll move on to the pull-up rig here. Starsick will do 3 pull-ups. The pull-up is our standard pull-up. We're just looking to break the plane of the bar. So a butterfly kip would be fine, a regular kip, a dead hang. I mean, any type of pull-up grip doesn't matter. We're not worried about it. He got chin over the bar there, and that's fine. What he's got to do too is the ears. He's got nice straight arms here, and the ears are out on the other side of the arms. So he's got good extension, his head's through, and now he can finish the pull-ups, do a couple of them. And those are good reps. Nice straight arms, head's through the window. What we want to avoid is bent arms. So if he goes into it, he comes down, doesn't extend, head didn't come through, that would be a no rep. And of course, not breaking the plane of the bar. If he was short, chin was under the bar, that would of course not count. And lastly, no jumping into it. So if he's here, he's on a box or on the ground or whatever, he jumps into he has to think about it, jumps into the pull-up. Of course, that would be a no rep. You use the momentum of the jump to be able to get the rep. Moving on to the push-ups, our standard on the rings, the base of the ring is 4 inches from the ground. So from the ground, the very bottom of the ring is 4 inches. Then width of the rings don't matter. Whatever the athlete wants to use, that's fine. Must use an ab mat though, or something equivalent to that thickness. Now with this, Andrew's going to get down, he's going to touch his chest to the ab mat and come to full lockout. And that's a good rep. What he can't have happen is the hips can't sag and touch the ground and touch the chest and then come to lockout. So we should have no ground contact at all. And also, and what we see a lot is this ab mat ends up moving, or they move down towards the ab mat or away from it, and this becomes a belly to ab mat type of push-up. So now he's hitting his ribs, and he's actually still in a pretty good plank, but a lot of times the plank will fall. He'll be more rounded, he'll let his hips drag, and he'll touch and touch his stomach, touch his waist, any of that. So this ab mat must be up in the chest area. This should not be down the thick part of the ab mat. You notice I've got it turned upside down. The thick part of the ab mat must be in the chest area. He shouldn't have any ab mat anywhere below the sternum area. It should all be from there up. If he starts to move forward with it, the athlete, he's going to get no rep, and he would have to adjust his body, and scoot down exactly just like that right there. He's moved himself in a position where it's a good rep now. And of course the elbows are locked. He's not short repping. So he's not popping his elbows. Those would be no reps. I'm not getting that elbow pop. For the women masters, the RX will be the hand release push-ups, the same standards that we used on football going bad. Release the hands at the bottom of the push-up, come to full lockout, shoulders and hips all move together. Again, same standard that we used on the football going bad. And that's only for the masters women. They would still click as prescribed. Masters men on the rings. Everybody else on the rings. Then, lastly, we've got 9 sit-ups. Now, a couple of things on the sit-ups. He's going to have to touch the ground behind his head, and then come up to the toes. Or he can touch the ground in front of his feet. Any of that is fine. His feet can't come off the ground. The other thing we can't have is tucking the heels under the butt. So our standard is going to be an ab mat again, the width of the ab mat. And I've got a small one here just as an example. It's the same width. The width is the same. So if he's here trying to tuck his heels, he's too narrow. I'll show it on this side. He's too narrow. So he's got to get to where I can squeeze this ab mat in between him. Now if it gets questionable, he starts scooting those heels in, we can break back out the ab mat and call him out on it. But right here, he's good. I can see pretty easily. We got plenty of room to get an ab mat in there. He's not tucking the heels. Now, he can come outside the legs. He can come between the legs. That doesn't matter. The toes can come off the ground. The heels must stay on the ground, though. And those would all be good reps. We see with it, he's getting up to a nice 90 and looking real good. Yeah, now if he were to come up and lift his heels, kick his feet, yeah, anything like that, try to get some momentum out of the legs, no reps. Feet must stay in contact with the ground, must touch the side, behind, somewhere on the ground around his head. Where at is not important for this competition here. The width is important, the fact that he touches his toes or in front of his toes, all that would count. Now the way that this will work, again, this is a 10-minute AMRAP of 3 pull-ups, 6 ring push-ups, and 9 sit-ups. The judge will, of course, tabulate how many total reps that were completed in that 10-minute session and add it in with the squats and the row that happened in the previous 5 minutes or 7 minutes. And that would be your total score, is a combination of these 2 events. So again, you might have a negative number coming off the rower with the squats, and hopefully you would pick up a positive number over here. There is no, we're in the 5th workout of this series. There's only one left after this one. And I realize we may have some athletes out there that don't have pull-ups, maybe don't have pull-ups this way, but we're getting to the point now where we're finding our top 24 or our top 12 masters in this case, and that's what we're looking for. There is no modification. If you don't have a pull-up, the only score you could record is your air squat score. And so there is, again, no non-RX. It's a double negative, but there's not a non-RX or a modified version of this workout, with the exception of what the Masters women are going to do, and we're counting that as RX. That covers everything for this workout. I also put this out on the Facebook and on the game site. If you have any questions, contact me. And of course, get your 12.4 results in by Sunday at 5. Thank you very much.